Hi, Davva here again with another bike maintenance video. Just to remind you, I work for the Bristol Bike Project and we've teamed up with Bristol City Council to produce this series of videos. This episode's about brakes. We're going to look at V-brakes in particular because they're the most common ones. If you have other kinds of brakes, you can find tips and hints on how to adjust those using the links in the description below. So what is a V-brake? These metal calipers here, and when the brake's on, these are vertical and they work by you pulling the brake lever. There's a cable that gets pulled, it's inside this black outer cable, pops out here, and when you pull the lever it squeezes the arms of the caliper together and then the rubber pads squeeze on the metal rim. This rubber boot here is just to protect the inner cable to stop water getting on it and getting rusty, and from that water getting pulled inside this metal pipe here, which is called the noodle. It should sit on the end of the noodle like that. This cage here that the noodle sits in, sometimes that can get widened out from excessive use. You can use a pair of pliers to squeeze it back together. If the noodle's damaged, it will need replacing. If this brake pad here is touching the rim too soon, sooner than the other side, it's probably because this spring here isn't as strong as the one on the other side. To make it stronger, we can adjust it with the little grub screw in here, turning it clockwise, puts more tension in the spring, moves the pad away from the rim, and turning it anti-clockwise lets the spring on the other side do more of the work and pulls the pad nearer the rim. So while you're adjusting that, it's good to pump the brakes just to see what difference you make when you're doing it. There's going to be a point where just a little eighth of a turn is going to make a huge difference. So keep on checking in as you turn that screw. Let's talk about the inner cable of the brake, the one that pops out here. This one's got an end cap on to stop the cable fraying. If this has come off on your bike, you can cut off any of the frayed bits with a pair of pliers and then tape the end of the cable to make sure it doesn't start to fray again. Another place to look for wear and fraying is next to this pinch bolt that holds the cable in place. If the cable's been moved a lot and pinched up tight, it can start to fray around here, and then that makes the cable weak and it might break when you're pulling the levers. So if you have got fraying here, you need to replace that inner cable. The outer cable, the black outer cable, that can sometimes get damaged, especially near the brake lever. If it is, then I recommend replacing it. Also, if when you pull the brake lever and it's quite hard to pull and it goes back very slowly as well, that's an indicator that water's probably got in between the inner and the outer cable and caused some rusting. So that's another indicator that you need to replace that cable. Over time, your brake pads are going to wear away, and that will mean your brake lever will get nearer and near the handlebars before anything starts to happen. You can make up for that by turning this barrel adjuster anti-clockwise, and that makes the brake lever come on a bit sooner and makes up for that wear. This is an unusual barrel adjuster in that it's only got one part. Most of them have two parts. This bit that you adjust out, and then this bit is the lock nut, which ends up being tight against the brake lever. You can tell your brake pads are worn and need replacing if they get to this wear line. If you don't have a wear line, there's usually some grooves cut in the pads, and if they've disappeared, it's time to replace the pad. If you've got to the point where this kind of berm here is where it's touching the rim, definitely time to change those pads as soon as possible. So on this brake block you can see the different parts that hold it onto the brake caliper. I've taken some off of another one to show you. We've got convexed spaces here that form like a little football shape that gives it a ball and socket kind of movement, because they fit into these concave ones. There's a fat one and a skinny one, and you use them to adjust how far out the brake pad is from the rim. And on the end you've got a little washer to stop the nut coming loose once it's tightened up. With a lot of V-brakes, there's a tendency as the pad wears away for it to hit the rim lower and lower, and you end up getting a little ridge of rubber that's not touching the rim anymore. It makes like a lip, and if that gets really big it can catch under the rim. So you need to check periodically for that, and you can either very carefully cut that lip off with a sharp knife, or you can file it down with a flat file. Every time your pad's worn away, it can get kind of expensive and wasteful to replace the whole brake block, because these parts, they're fine, it's just the pad that's worn. So an alternative is to initially buy a brake block that has a shim that you just remove. So this pad slides out when you take the pin out, you slide the new pad in, put the new pin in, and that works out a lot cheaper, and you're not having to throw away all these metal parts here each time you change the brake pad. To put the brake block in, I've released the cable by the noodle so the brake arm is nice and accessible. I've got my fat concave washer already in place along with one of the convex ones, so I can just pop that straight into the brake arm, push it up next to the rim, hold it in place so I can stick the other washers in. First one to go on is that other convex one, the skinny concave one, and the washer goes on, and then finally put the nut on, just finger tight for now so everything stays about where I left it. I'm going to re-engage the cable, make sure it clicks in to place, then line the brake pad up with the rim, put the brake on, hold everything in place, tighten it up with the long end of the Allen key to start with, then let go of the brake, hold on to the brake pad as I tighten it up with the short end for more leverage, but I'm holding the pad so that it doesn't move as I turn the nut. Then I'll double check that it's hitting the rim in the right place. If a tyre was on there, I'd also be double checking that the brake pad wasn't hitting the tyre. If you check your brakes and you find that the pad's not lined up properly on the rim, you just follow the same method as lining up a new brake pad. And loosen off this nut, line everything up, pull it against the rim, tighten the nut up, and make sure you hold the pad in place as you fully tighten it. As your brake pads wear away, your rim's also wearing away too. So it's good to check that every now and then, and especially if you've come to the point where you're changing your brake blocks. So you check that by rubbing it with your thumb, and if it's nice and flat and smooth like this one is, it's all good. If it's started to concave in the way though, where the pads have been rubbing on the rim, wearing it away, then it's time to replace it once it's really curved. Luckily, a lot of rims have got a wear line on them, so if you knew you had one at the beginning and now you can't see it, it's time to replace that rim. But if you don't remember whether you had one or not, definitely worth giving the wheel a check with your thumb. It's good to have your brake levers in the right place so they're comfortable to use. If they're too low down and your wrist's bent downwards, or too high up and your wrist bent up, it's not very comfortable. So to adjust that, there's a bolt holding everything in place underneath the handlebars. You may have to change gear to get in there, but slacken it off. Move the brake lever to a comfortable position and tighten it back up again. Make sure it's done up tight enough that the brake lever doesn't move. If you've got short fingers, then you may find the brake levers too far away for your fingers to reach comfortably. There's usually a grub screw to help you adjust that. Mine's here and uses an Allen key. Sometimes they just use a crosshead screwdriver. But you turn that clockwise and that starts to push the brake lever in towards the handlebars to make it easier to reach. Once you finish working on your brakes, make sure everything's been done up tightly. Check your bolts and your nuts. Give the brake lever a good squeeze, make sure nothing slips. Spin the wheel, make sure it's not catching on the brakes. And then pull the brake lever, make sure that stops the wheel from moving. To check your back brake, pull the bike backwards. That was V-brakes. We looked at some of the reasons why they might not be working properly and how to replace the brake blocks. We couldn't cover all of the issues in this short video, so if you're still having problems, I recommend you get a mechanic to take a look at them.